United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call?
Who does the roll call? Who's the secretary? Who's the clerk? It's been a while since any of us, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't do it.
Well, who's taking minutes? We
That's
have
just-
somebody never
Well,
take.
it's done before.
Oh, okay, right, right.
Well, I think just to let the record show, some of the members of the president, Bob Rod, Judy Tully, Supervisor Pyle.
Okay.
Members absent are
Dave Smith and Dale.
Yeah. Very good.
Well, is it Elmer on here as well? Pretty sure he is.
On the CIA?
Yeah, from Pine Knob.
Five-person CIA. They're a five-person board. Pardon me? Oh.
Okay, all good.
Not unless, you just say, not unless the previous supervisor made an appointment without us. Oh.
You know, a lot of things happened under that last supervisor.
We'll talk about this. I, you know.
Yeah, I will, but yeah, just listed, unless one of them's an alternate.
Well, it could be.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we need an approval of the minutes from November 20th, 2024, regular meeting. Anybody have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented based on the last meeting.
Second?
Second from Judy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes. Presentations, annual report.
Standard report. You have received this, I believe. I won't go through it unless you have questions about it. We are, there really hasn't been any activity in terms of new projects with the board finishing up the intersection project, obviously, and the continued reimbursement of the township for the bond issue that was passed through the proceeds of tax increment funds. And I will get into the second part of this in a while about what, you know, where we are looking forward from that standpoint, because that's an item of discussion tonight. But what the board would need to do, if you don't have any questions, is just accept the report and move it and send it on to the township board and to the other taxing jurisdictions.
Really, when you look at the list, a lot of things did get done.
A lot of things did get done by the CIA. A lot
That
of-
made a difference, really.
A lot of activities, that's correct. Yep. Yep. And, you know, what's interesting, I will say, is a lot of, I mean, infrastructure that would not otherwise be done,
Right.
projects. And that's what is the benefit of the tax increment finance tool that CIAs and DDAs have, so.
Okay. Well, do we want to, anybody have any other questions for Mr. Carlisle on it, or are we good with sending it forward?
Do we need to move to approve the,
Yeah, I think you simply need to move to accept the report and transmit it to the township board.
okay. I make the motion to approve the Corridor Improvement Authority annual report and forward it to the township board.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, passes. And any public comment? Review of the agenda additions or deletions require a majority of voted board members. Financial matters?
Yeah, the supervisor had asked me earlier on to advise him about the future of the CIA. and as an entity. And as you know, the CIA plan has the CIA discontinuing operations in 2029, with the last revenues collected in 2030. The circumstances are that because of additional development that's occurred and positive capture in tax increment revenues, it does appear that the CIA by that time will have accumulated approximately $1 million in excess revenues. So the decision comes before the CIA to make a recommendation to the township board is whether to attempt to continue your operations beyond that point, to implement additional infrastructure and other types of projects that you might want to pursue. That is obviously one option. That, of course, would require coordinating that and negotiating with Oakland County, because we'd have to go back and request that extension and revise the plan, and of course devise specific things that you would want to do with that increased capture from that standpoint. The second option, of course, is that you'll have $1 million, and if you don't expend that money, if you don't spend that money by the time that you are sunset, you have to return proportionally it back to the taxing jurisdictions. There is, I think, a debatable question as to whether some of that has to be, all of that has to be returned, because of our previous agreement with the county, we have stopped capturing from them because we reached the threshold of what we were allowed to by agreement. So mostly what you're capturing right now is your own money, plus some from community college and HCMA. And that's a legal issue that will have to be, investigated by Mr. Kelly's office. The other option is to, spend that money over the next several years and implement things that you might feel are unfinished, or projects that we can justify under the current plan, and that's perfectly legitimate. And you have that ability to do that. And so that's really the third option. So these are the things before you. There's obviously, these are not all mutually exclusive alternatives. I mean, you could pursue the extension of the DDA and still continue to operate and begin, and identify some unfinished business that you think needs to get done. And if it fits within the current plan, that's, again, perfectly legitimate, while still trying to pursue the extension with the county. And so those really are the options before you, and Supervisor and I did speak about this, about really introducing this idea to the CIA board, and you've both been on it for a little while, especially you, Bob. So you probably have some experience to really lend to this discussion. So is that a fair presentation of this, Chuck, from what we've talked about? Yeah.
Yes.
So we have $1 million if it sunsets in 29, right?
Correct.
To spend.
Yeah.
And if we extend it, we would extend it till
It could be up to another
10
15
years,
years.
or what,
Yeah,
15
sure.
years?
Yeah. Yeah. I will not probably be here to help you do that.
Nor will I. I guarantee you that. I hope I'm here. But
I hope I'm here, but I hope I won't.
Yeah.
I won't be.
And then, what is that amount if it was to extend out? How much more money would we have?
Well, it's just going to continue to. It will continue from the original base year.
Right.
So I don't have the spreadsheet with me, but you're accumulating some significant dollars now.
Right.
So it'll just continue on from there. Yeah.
Yes, Joe. I would prefer that we extend it, because I see no reason why to give tax dollars back to the counties and the schools and all that. So I don't see any harm or foul in going down to the county and trying to get them to extend the CIA. I had lunch with a county commissioner today, and that person told me that they would have a good favor in letting it continue on. So I would suggest that we keep moving forward, but at the same token, let's figure out what we're gonna do with the rest of the money
Sure.
that we have.
Sure.
Well, the existing money we have.
Definitely need to have a program to present to them.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this, if I may suggest this, moving forward, I have made some suggestions to the supervisor about what those might be, but I'm sure that you have your own thoughts about that too. But this would necessitate, obviously, so now moving on into the next year, additional meetings of the CIA board to discuss these things, because we don't want to go to the county with sort of a blank, say, well, give us a blank check, because that won't fly.
Sure. But we really need, to come up with something to spend the $1 million first, right?
Yeah.
And, I agree with you, it doesn't make sense to, if we can keep the tax dollars here, why would we give them back if we had proper projects to do? So
Yeah.
we need to come up with what those projects are. And I'm for sure agree with the fact that we don't want the money to go back if we can figure out a place to spend it here.
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest about this. Not that there isn't a lot of other people that can help you do this, but next year would be a pretty good time to really kind of figure this out while I'm still working with you and able to advise you about this. I know Chuck thinks that I'm going to stay forever, but
I mean, you're like an institution. You have to
but
I mean, I
eventually.
think if I'm not mistaken, you need my leave to go. As long as I'm here, you're not going.
But I'm thinking that, this, we've got, this is going to take obviously a little bit of time, because I know from the original plan, it took approximately 2 to 3 years to
Sure.
get it all done.
Right.
It won't take that long for this, but certainly there are different people at the county now that we work with that some of our familiar faces in the past are not there. So we'll have to start out, with new relationships and everything, which is fine. But next year would be a good time to really start that discussion. But I think we should have, we should come up with a sort of a plan of what it is that we want to do with extending that.
Are there certain things that are allowable, like is it all infrastructure stuff or not necessarily?
Yeah, I mean, certainly there's things within the current, I mean, most of the road, if there are additional road improvements and things like that, those are, that we feel are still justifiable under the old plan, that's certainly a fair game. Definitely some of the aesthetic stuff. I mean, we never really fully completed all of the landscaping that we had envisioned because we just decided not to spend that much money. Definitely safety path improvements. There's some projects still that are proposed north of 75 to extend it. I think it's up to Clarkston Road now at this point. So you could participate in that cost, and that would definitely be helpful to the safety path program. We've always had a lot of discussion and issues about how we get, how do we get the bridge improved? I mean, and I'm not sure we'll ever, we will never accumulate that much money.
Right.
But we'll accumulate at least enough money through the TIF capture perhaps to meet a local match.
Right.
That is always favorable to MDOT.
Right.
So those are all things that I think that are, particularly, are possible under infrastructure improvements. So, and those are the kind of things that, I mean, I think the really admirable thing about our CIA is that we have been highly infrastructure oriented, which is, we're not spending on a lot of fluff,
Right.
So.
Did the water and sewer get finished going up past Sashabaw, or past 75? That's all finished
Yeah.
all the way up there?
Yes, that was done with the widening
Right.
project, yeah. I mean, if there's some gaps to fill in, I'll check with Mr. McKee, but I think most of that stuff was done, yeah.
Well, how do you suggest that we move forward?
Well, I would suggest that probably the best thing is for you to direct me to come back to you with some thoughts after consultation with the supervisor, between the supervisor and I. And coming new year, come back to the CIA board with some of the thoughts about what we would like to do, things we could do with the surplus of the money now, and things that we can do moving
If we
forward.
could extend it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and, come up with somewhat of an outline of what we want to do, which we will then take to the county and start to discuss it with them.
And does it all have to be in this area? I mean, all of the things we've done are in
Well,
this area.
actually, it's interesting you asked that, and I'm glad you did, thank you. It does have to be within the entire CIA, what's called the development area. Something that we don't talk a lot about is the fact that the actual development area extends south of Mabee Road down to the Waterford Township line. And I'm not sure that, Chuck, you and I have spoken about that. And the reason for that is that we developed the entire Sashabaw corridor from Clarkston down to the township line, originally thinking that we were going to do a tax capture all the way. But the county objected to us capturing in the south of Mabee Road because of the lack of any development potential down there. But we can still spend tax increment monies down there
Oh,
if we choose to.
right.
So if there are some pedestrian improvements, if there's some, one of the things we find along Dixie Highway is so many of the intersections where we have safety paths don't meet ADA standards
Right.
for things like that nature. If there's some road crossing projects that could be done. So some of this money could be spent south of Mabee Road all the way down to the township boundary.
And then it goes to Clarkston Road, right?
No, not through Clarkston.
It goes to Clarkston Road, the district.
Oh, up to Clarkston Road, I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, to Clarkston Road, yeah, not, down Walden Road, just right here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah, but up to Clarkston Road.
Well, does anybody have any other questions, or would like to make a motion maybe to have Mr. Carlisle do some investigative work along with you?
Yep. I'll make a motion that the board considers using Carlisle Wortman to investigate the possibility of extending the CIA lifespan and to report back in the first part of the year in working with the supervisor.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None.
Okay. And I think that's it for me.
All right. Public comments, authority comments. That's you, Mr. Fowler, do you have any authority comments?
I do not at this point in time.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Perfect.